if it will be accomplished. The Brexit was voted on 3 years ago by a small margin, 52 to 48% approximately, and now people are saying they're having second thoughts, but the government has always said there would be no second referendum. So it's a very complex situation, it's very convoluted, and it'll be interesting to see how Johnson is able to navigate this going forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fontina. Mr. Gosling, you were shaking your head right now. What exactly did you not agree with in what Mr. Fontina was saying?
I mean, this is a myth that the British people are having second thoughts. Let me tell you, most of those who I know who voted Remain also voted for Remain with a respect for the actual referendum result. And so many of those who have decided that they want to see that referendum result implemented. It hasn't been implemented, and as a result, what we've ended up with is this enormous sort of losers campaign against the democratic will of the people. That vote was very clear. It was, the idea is it's basically just in or out. It's an in or out referendum, and we voted out. But what we've seen today is not a rejection of this deal, Boris's new deal. It's just another delay by Sir Oliver Letwin, who's an ex-Rothschild banker and a globalist. He's basically a pro-Brussels person who's embedded in the Conservative Party. And these delays and delays and delays have a very negative effect, not only on us, but also on the European Union. There are many, many leaders around Europe that just want to get on with business. The delays, I would suggest, and really this is just a personal opinion, that every day that Brexit is delayed, tyranny grows. This is a democracy, and if we vote to do something, we need to do it. If people want to campaign for Remain and continue to do so, they should do so after we've left. And one of the things this whole process has exposed is that the deep divisions are within the main political parties. So, you know, you've got a whole load of Remainers in the Labour Party and a whole load of Remainers also in the Conservative Party. These are the people who are wedded to the European Union, maybe looking for jobs in the future over there, and they believe in a United States of Europe. Most of the British people don't, and we're seeing that expressed, I think, through, you know, in all sorts of different ways here in Britain, but mainly by the rise of the Brexit Party, which is instantly, literally within a few weeks of being created, it became the biggest single party in the whole of the European Union's European Parliament. The other thing to consider here is Jean-Claude Juncker, the President of Europe, the President of the Commission, is about to finish his term, and it's about to be taken over by Ursula von der Leyen, the German Defence Minister. Juncker is very, very keen, and one can understand why, to leave a clean slate, to leave with a deal and to leave his office having completed this process, and not to be handing on this toxic Brexit legacy for future commissioners and future presidents to have to sort out. So he's very, very keen to get this deal done. But people like Oliver Letwin seem to be trying to delay it within the Conservative Party. I think personally what's going to happen is that the Parliament is going to throw this deal out, and what's going to happen by Brexit Day, Halloween, is what's going to happen there is we're going to probably leave with no deal, because Parliament has been so intransigent. They're very scared of a general election because they know that if the British people were asked to vote on them, many of these, particularly Labour MPs, they're in Leave constituencies, but they've been constantly voting in Parliament to remain, so they wouldn't last 5 minutes in a general election.
So, Mr. Gosling, if you could answer very short, because we don't have time, I want to give some time to Mr. Fontina also. We do know that Nigel Farage was not okay with this deal that Mr. Boris Johnson has reached with the EU. Also, we do know about Jeremy Corbyn's position. We know about Scotland's position. Do you still believe that it is possible to achieve a Brexit?
Well, yes, I think it is, yes, but it's probably going to be a no deal, because the
But the no-deal Brexit was outruled by the Parliament. The Parliament says it is not possible to have a no-deal Brexit.
Well, what they've said is that Boris Johnson's got to send a letter demanding a delay. Boris Johnson has said we're going to be leaving on Halloween, and the parliamentary law, the Benn Act, said he's got to write a letter, which he did today. The only thing is, and we've been waiting for a month to find what tricks Boris had up his sleeve, which were legal, is he didn't sign the letter. So the letter effectively is not legally valid. he sent 2 other letters, which he did sign, explaining that there was going to be no extension. And this is one of the reasons. This has not been reported very much at all in the West, and in the UK particularly, that the whole process of bringing in a new European Commission has been delayed for at least a month. Ursula von der Leyen will not be coming in on the 1st of November as she's supposed to take over the Commission as the new President of Europe. That whole process has been delayed for a month because of financial irregularities of new commissioners coming in. The European Parliament have said we're not having these commissioners, so the new European Commission can't start its job. So the delays are not just happening in Britain, they're happening over in Brussels too, but it's barely been reported.
Thank you very much. Let's turn back to Mr. Robert Fantina. What do you think, Mr. Fantina? Do you think, considering the divisions within the different political parties, it would be possible for Britain to exit the EU?
It's possible, but I don't think it's likely, because the idea of a no-deal Brexit carries a lot of risk to it, and members of Parliament aren't going to want to face those risks and see them possibly come to fruition. So while I think that Boris Johnson, in sending the letter unsigned, is certainly sending a message to the European Union, to the people of Britain, but it is still a letter that was sent, that was required by law, and the President of the European Union has announced that he is now consulting with the other leaders to find out how to respond to it. So we'll see what happens next, but I don't think that most of the members of Parliament are interested in a no-deal Brexit. They want some assurances that things will remain the same, that standards and regulations will not be violated by this no-deal Brexit.
But the thing is, everybody's fed up with Brexit. We want to get it over with, and I think Boris is going to get a lot of political support for getting it all finished on Halloween. No deal or deal, whatever. No more Brexit in November. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to both of you, gentlemen. I believe that you clearly demonstrate what's happening in the UK. The difference of opinion is very clear right here in this discussion that we had. Thank you for shedding light, and I guess we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen next. Thanks to all of our viewers for following this edition of the News Review with us.